Yeah. Got myself some good old Kentucky lemongrass. It's green.
I was there as a kid. I hadn't been there for a couple of years, but yeah, once you get up there.
Yeah, I could justify it.
Oh. I wouldn't have seen
That's
Yeah. Yeah, I could.
So,
Yeah. I did that 1 year.
Yeah, well, are you going to?
I did. Turn some lights.
I use that. Yeah.
That's
Well, I have this with my dog.
This last Sunday.
When he cuts and tears, I have a section. Oh, wait. I love his dad when he tears stuff.
Oh, wow. That's huge. Is that tonight?
It's Tuesday.
Hey Brad, do you need to borrow my son's flamethrower?
Well, I don't know if I need to, but I want to.
What, you got some ivy on your house or something?
No, just,
Just want to?
it's great for starting a bonfire. I'm good.
Well, you just got him a big deer, so he's a happy camper.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
About 20 points.
It was his side. I didn't count them, but
Oh, yeah.
it looked like either a big 10 or 12 point.
Is he using that trailer he made?
Yeah, he got it down, he's got that trailer down at Hughes.
Buena Vista.
And the little shack that he
Yeah.
stayed in.
You're starting?
I guess so. We just went where we could find anything. I don't know, I don't have anything to do with it. I'm just looking for a
I'm
ride.
going to, so, Elizabeth Spencer. You can, Elizabeth Spencer's in downtown Calistoga, and you can do a walk-in.
Okay. I'll write that down.
Is that a mud bath?
No.
Don't you start.
Calistoga mud bath. That's a story Lori will have to.
That is a story
Oh.
we'll have to share,
No.
not in city council. What'd you say it was called?
Elizabeth Spencer. And if you can get into that hospital, you have to have reservation
Which one?
Duckhorn.
Anyway, I'm excited just to get away.
All right, I have 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock, I would like to call the November 16th DeSoto City Council meeting to order. We'll start with roll call, please.
Hunter Michael,
This conference will now
Daniels?
be recorded.
Daniels,
Present.
Murdoch,
Here.
Ritter,
Here.
Lane, here. All are present.
All right, I would invite you all to please rise and join me in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our first item tonight is our consent agenda. Tonight on the consent agenda, we have approval of the minutes from our November 2nd City Council meeting, approval of pay ordinance number 961, and approval of temporary access road agreement for Panasonic across city right-of-way. Are there any items anyone would wish to remove for further discussion? Or a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Make a motion, we move to approve the consent agenda. Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Lane,
Yes.
Ritter,
Yes.
Hunter Michael,
Yes.
Daniels,
Yes.
Murdoch,
Yes.
motion carries.
All right, our next item is call to public. Members of the public are welcome to use this time to comment about any matter relating to city business not listed on tonight's agenda. The comments that are discussed under call to public may or may not be acted on by the council during tonight's meeting. There is a 4-minute time limit. Does anyone wish to address the council under call to public? All right, seeing none, we'll move on. Item 3 is old business. We do not have any, so we'll go to item 4A, consider 7-party agreement for Southwest Metro Area Transportation Connection Plan.
Yes, council, I'll introduce this. DeSoto, along with 6 other entities in the area, have been working the past several months to come up with a multi-party agreement that would study our road transportation corridors through northwest Johnson County and northeast Douglas County. There's been, since the annexation of Sunflower property in several years ago, and the development now at Astra, we're planning in earnest, obviously, those 9,000 acres, and there's a need to establish arterial corridors through that property that make logical sense with the connecting jurisdictions east and west and north and south of here. So it's recognized that we do need a multi-jurisdictional effort to study logical corridors for that, and that'll help inform our comprehensive planning as well as the plans of the other entities in the area. For 80 years now, the Sunflower property has been a block to east-west corridors through northwest Johnson County, and that block will soon be removed. So want to establish those corridors for everybody's benefit, and also the north-south corridor. A very important part of this would be the long-studied connection between I-70 and K-10 down to I-35, which will also be incorporated to a degree into this study. So what's in front of you this evening is a study that involves 7 interlocal agreement with 7 entities. So it's DeSoto, Johnson County, KDOT, Douglas County, Olathe, Gardner, and Edgerton. The core team, comprising of DeSoto, Johnson County, and KDOT, will largely drive the study and pay for 75% of its cost. The other 4 entities are the technical advisory team. They'll also be involved in the study and its conclusion. This is being presented to all the governing bodies to enter the study together. Largely, this will be a land use and transportation study. It is not intended to necessarily be formally rolled into comprehensive. It is intended as a guide to help each entity with their comprehensive planning, but the intent is not that each entity would adopt this plan as part of its comprehensive plan. So those decisions will be made on an individual basis, but we thought it was important for the group to establish the logical engineering corridors from an engineering perspective and land use perspective. So the first steps in the study will be to negotiate with a consultant the scope and fee. So we have a draft scope that's attached to the staff report that's attached to the agreement, and then the study area is also a map there on the very last page of your packet that shows primarily the area we're talking about. So the primary study area really is just right around northwest Johnson County. That would kind of get these corridors through the Astra Enterprise Park that tie up with similar corridors around Eudora and in Douglas County, obviously in Olathe and Johnson County to the east. And then a secondary study area that would wrap around the south and east portions of that, primarily focused on coming up with some logical connections for that north-south connector freeway. So with your approval, the other governing bodies of the other 6 entities will be doing the same, and we'll be looking to formalize the scope and fee and kick the study off in January.
Okay. Any questions from council? From Mike?
So this is an estimate that our portion could go up or down based upon the final numbers?
Well, so within the agreement, our obligation is capped. It's a maximum of $62,500.
Okay, so
that's a max.
That's a max.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, good question. Any others?
Yeah.
Logical step, being ready for a motion.
I'll make a motion that we enter into the 7-party interlocal agreement and authorize the mayor to sign it for the purpose of studying the Southwest Area Transportation Connection Plan.
I'll second the motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Murdock,
Yes.
Daniels,
Yes.
Hanmichael,
Yes.
Ritter,
Yes.
Lane,
Yes.
motion carries.
All right, next item on our agenda. Arbor Ridge second, or fourth plat. Brad?
All right, thank you, Mayor and Council. What you have before you is the Arbor Ridge fourth plat. It's being submitted by Don Parr in conjunction with the Arbor Ridge Development. It has been downsized due to infrastructure costs and the ability to sewer I guess more of the western areas of the fourth plat. The area to the to the west of this cul-de-sac will remain unplatted at this time until we can come up with a good plan to extend sewer that isn't so burdensome. It's totally on the Arbor Ridge development. So at this point, Don Parr and Dustin Baker are working together on this, and they've decided that they would like to just split the fourth plat in half, and well, roughly maybe 2/3, and proceed with the lots that are more easily sewered, and will tie into the existing lines that have already been in place by the developer. This was brought before the Planning Commission, the entire fourth plat was, which included the lots to the west in December, but was never filed, and it has been brought before the Planning Commission at the previous meeting with the reduced amount of lots. It was approved by the Planning Commission, and it is consistent with the final development plan, which was approved in 2005. Staff has reviewed it with our technical requirements, and it does conform to our final plat requirements. And with that, I will stand for any questions you may have.
Questions for Brad? All right, if we have no questions, I think we're ready for a motion.
We are. It should be here somewhere. I'll make a motion, we accept the final plat for the fourth plat at Arbor Ridge.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mayor Walker,
Yes.
Lane,
Yes.
Ritter,
Yes.
Hanmichael,
Yes.
Daniels,
Yes.
Murdock,
Yes.
motion carries.
All right. Thank you, Brad. Item C, consider resolution 2027 related to expansion of the Northwest Consolidated Fire District territory.
Yes, council. This issue sort of came up because as part of the development agreement with Panasonic, it's required that the Panasonic track be added to the fire district territory, because all of Sunflower, it's the only part of the city that is not part of the fire district territory and never has been. So as part of getting together the documents to do that, had discussions about, well, should we just go ahead and add all of Sunflower to the fire district territory? The mayor and I went to the fire district meeting, talked to the board, and they voted to support the effort to just go ahead and include all of the Sunflower and Panasonic into the fire district territory. Following that, I did communicate to Sunflower Redevelopment what our plan was, and they are opposed to doing that at this time. And you know, we've talked with them about some of the reasons, but what we need to do, regardless of whether we
we include just Panasonic or all of the Sunflower property, I need to get a notice in the paper on Tuesday for a hearing to occur at the December council meeting. And for purposes of that notice, I'd like to get your feedback on thoughts you had, because even though the statute doesn't specifically say you must include the, exact land area you're going to include, I think it should be, we should at least note in there what we're intending to add. Now, this would just be for a hearing for you to then consider a resolution at your council meeting, determining whether you want to make this request through the county. And I have talked to the county. Their review and approval is sort of perfunctory. They don't, it's not a quasi judicial thing or anything. So it should, once we send the resolution to the county, it should be something that they would approve fairly quickly.
So just as a point of clarification or additional information, Sunflower has some reservations, but they're not opposed necessarily. And in order for them to get a better understanding of how the Community Improvement District and the Fire District attachment might affect their future development, I offered or suggested that we would attach the Panasonic property immediately, and then we would follow up shortly after the first of the year in January with an attachment of the remainder of the Sunflower property. I think it's important to me, and I think it should important to the city, that all of that property, land that is within the city limits of the DeSoto would be covered by Northwest Consolidated Fire District. I think it just makes sense. But I think they had. We did bring it on them relatively quickly because of the time crunch that we wanted to make sure that the Panasonic was in the district as soon as possible, and the idea was we did it all at once. It might be simpler for everybody, but there's nothing that says we have to do it that way. And they, just to repeat, they're not necessarily going to object, but they want a little bit more time to understand future ramifications of the fire district and how it would interweave with the future community improvement district. So I've offered a two-step process. We'll do this one and then we'll follow up after the first year with the other one.
Is there a public hearing associated with these?
Yes, at your.
So that'd be multiple notices, multiple public hearings.
Yeah, the process is we have a public hearing and then we submit a resolution. We would vote on a resolution that we would submit to the BOCC requesting attachment of whatever property to the fire district that is within the city of DeSoto.
And they don't schedule a public hearing, the county, they just put it on their agenda for a regular meeting and vote on it, so. But yeah, if everybody's supportive, I'll just do the notice for just Panasonic site, and then we'll come back in January and address the rest.
So I guess that's the question, but are we comfortable with that approach? Would we rather try and do it all at once? Being a reasonable partner to our developer, and I don't think time is of the essence. It would be better sooner than later, but I think January is still not that far down the road. I don't think it's something we want to kick down the road very far. So I've suggested that we would want to put this on an agenda at our second meeting in January. So
what does a month and a half to 2 months buy Sunflower?
Just more time to study how TIF revenue, future TIF revenues and community improvement district payments would work and be transferred to future properties within the development, end users. So they just thought they needed a little more time to sort out the details. And
Who was that?
Sunflower.
Sunflower.
Yeah.
So with that next chunk, I agree that's the way to do it, and I can understand they probably need to digest the bigger ramifications. Is there any consideration for the portion that would be future solar, the utility scale solar area, and maybe make that a third one? Might there be a
I think
reason
it all
that
ought
would
to
be
be-
treated differently?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I
Okay.
think it all
But
should
that's for
be
them to sort out.
fire, in the fire district, it all should be covered, provided fire protection. If the Northwest Consolidated District is responsible for, say, fighting a grass fire in that area, then it should be part of the area that's taxed and provides revenue to.
Oh, totally agree,
to
yeah,
them.
totally
So-
agree. Is just, how will that fire protection work in that?
There'll be more
Yeah.
fire board ruling and decision.
Previous years it was contracted,
But I mean,
And that's
if it's
the-
in a solar field, you know,
but it would be better to be all in one.
The element we'd like to get out is that annual contracting and the potential uncertainty as to how that,
so it could always be broken up later if there was some reason that logistically, like whatever, financially or through whatever future mechanism, Savion or whoever the developer may want some other kind of arrangement. It can be modified in the future. I don't know that it is anything. I'm just wondering if that other big chunk creates a little bit different analysis or a little bit different.
I don't think it does, because I
Okay.
think it's an area, I mean, no matter what use is in it, it's gonna need fire protection.
Absolutely.
So, and Northwest Consolidated is the fire district or the fire provider, fire service provider, fire protection provider in the area, so.
Even if we had our own fire department, we'd still have to be providing service for within our territory, so.
Understood. I'm just saying, as it relates to the TIF district and things
Yeah.
like that's what I'm.
Yeah, I
wondering.
don't think, because those details will be shaken out in the development agreements
Okay,
that are
so that could be,
with when those projects come forward,
yeah, that could be dissected later.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's just right now, it's just that acreage needs to pay taxes on whatever assessed value it has right now into the fire district to provide for fire protection.
All $34 of it.
So.
So
Okay.
would it not help to do the whole thing then at once? If,
I'll go back over it again. Sunflowers asked for a little bit of more time to study how the future community improvement district payments and fire district assessments and TIF would all work together as they relate to a future tenant on the property that they might sell the property to. So I don't think and from our perspective, it's no more difficult or no simpler whether we do it in one action or two. I think for me, it's important that we do Panasonic now. As to be a reasonable partner to Sunflower, I think it's okay to accommodate them and give them a month or 6 weeks to study and then feel comfortable with what we're doing. I'm not saying we'd ever change course. I'm just saying we'll give them more time to get do more study on their side to understand what's going to happen.
And their contract continues with Northwest
Yeah.
on their own the way it is now until, but
Yeah, that's-
Panasonic will be under ours with taxing and not the.
That's right. That's why it's important to do Panasonic
Right.
now, because that contract does expire at the end of the year.
Right,
So, we can't have, Panasonic cannot have a situation
Yeah.
where
Right.
their coverage is in question.
right.
And for future development, it's important, I think, to have it all in a district, because fire insurance underwriters and they'll be looking
right.
at those things.
So Patrick, what parts of Johnson County would be attached in the total package when it's done that are not a part of the city? Because the resolution says within the city and Johnson County,
Yeah,
or is it?
it's just the sunflower tracks. I was just trying to make sure everything was included, but
Okay.
as it turns out, everything
Okay,
is.
I didn't know if that was parklands or,
The only thing that would be in the county that might not be in the city, and I don't know whether or not we would include it or it's not included now, is the K-State property at the south end of the project.
okay,
If it's not in the fire district, it should be and would need to be included.
okay.
Or would be my thought and my intent that all of that land would be included. Wouldn't change the revenue because it's a non-tax paying entity, but still should be in the district.
So on your motion, since it's a resolution, I can revise it after the meeting, but if you just give direction that pass a resolution with the revision, that will just be
Currently,
picking up Panasonic.
would that,
With the
would
understanding
that be
that-
easiest to say Project Area 1 then?
Yeah.
The Panasonic Project Area 1?
Yeah, I'd like the motion to include the understanding that the remainder of Sunflower would follow at January meeting,
Okay.
so that we're clear about that time frame.
So if nobody has any other comments, I'll make a motion that we adopt a resolution 2027 authorizing proceedings to request that the Johnson County Board of Commissioners include all land currently located within the Panasonic Project Area 1 and be added to the territory of Northwest Consolidated Fire District with the additional Sunflower Astra properties being attached in January?
Yeah, to be considered
To
in
be considered to
January.
be attached in January.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion of the motion?
Did that give you,
Yep.
wording give you guys? Okay.
Told me what.
Sounds good.
All right, roll call, please.
Murdoch,
Yes.
Daniels,
Yes.
Huntermichael.
Yes.
Ritter,
Yes.
Lane,
Yes.
motion carried.
All right. Item D, consider ordinance 2596, creating a community improvement district.
Yes, council, as you'll recall, in the development agreement with Panasonic, part of the mechanism that we incorporated in that agreement was to have Panasonic sign a petition to create a community improvement district, which will have assessments on the area in Project One to raise funds for primarily fire services, fire truck, and also law enforcement. So the ordinance that you have in front of you is the first step in setting that up. So staff recommends approval of that ordinance as written.
Any questions from council on ordinance 2596?
I'll make a motion, we approve ordinance 2596 as written.
I'll second the motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ritter,
Yes.
Lane,
Yes.
Murdoch,
Yes.
Huntermichael.
Yes.
Daniels,
Yes.
motion carries.
All right, item E, consider design service agreement with SFS Architecture for Phase 2 of City Hall remodel project.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Before you is the contract with SFS Architecture for Phase 2 of the City Hall remodel project, which was discussed at the last meeting. As discussed, we would be proceeding with the entirety of City Hall. And Phase 2 with SFS would include schematic design, design development, development of construction documents, as well as at that point, if the project was decided to go forward with, they would provide the architecture's support through bidding and construction. That would all be all encompassing underneath this Phase 2 contract. You'll see the breakdown of the fees there for a total of $536,866, broken down based on the architecture engineering fees, their reimbursables as part of their contract, and then the low voltage and security, as well as the furnishings and equipment design fee. It is the same contract as Phase 1. We've changed the language to change it to Phase 2. And the fees have been set based on that cost estimate that was generated as a part of Phase 1. So I stand for any questions.
All right, questions for Cameron? I'm sure it was in there. What was the schedule for completing the services?
So the breakdown is roughly 6 weeks for schematic design, 8 weeks for design development, and 10 weeks for construction documents. So that puts us at 24 weeks to have construction documents in hand, be ready to bid. They did revise that time frame. It's a little different than it was in their initial scope documents.
due to the lower level being included and the additional design time that would be required to
Okay.
provide things such as MEPs for downstairs.
Any questions?
I'll make a motion then to approve city administrator to sign the design services agreement with SFS Architect to Phase 2 of the City Hall remodel project in the amount of $536,866.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Lane.
Yes.
Ritter.
Yes.
Hanamichael.
Yes.
Daniels.
Yes.
Murdoch.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right. Council, in your packets, there was also a public art a display agreement. I don't know if it was meant to be on the consent agenda, but it wasn't on mine. So I would like, can you find that in your packets? And let's talk about that now. Patrick, are you bringing this?
Brandon has had most of the
All right, Brandon.
communication with the artist.
Were you gonna do this later in your report, or?
Yeah, I was gonna. I must have just missed it. I apologize. Anyways, yeah. So this is just a contract with the artist that council approved in the meeting. I believe it was in the September meeting. This is just placing it. We finally found the spot for it. We were working with the artist to find the appropriate place. The original spot we were looking at was at Tri-Century Bank, but there were some issues with insurance, and there were also issues with light pollution in that area. And so this is just the standard contract that be approved. This this will take the place of the face that's out there right now. That face is going to go out with to the fire station, kind of negotiate something, a place to put a public art piece out there. So we'll have
The new fire station or the?
at the current fire station.
Okay.
Yeah, at the current fire station. So we're gonna have the art piece set probably the week after Thanksgiving, and that's really about it. So I'll stand for
Okay.
any questions.
I didn't know if there was anybody here in the audience that was for this item or
No.
not, so before we went into our next one, I thought we'd take it. All right, any questions from council on this? Motion to approve?
I'll make a motion we approve the agreement for the public art display with Chelsea Walker and the city of DeSoto.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Murdoch.
Yes.
Daniels.
Yes.
Hanamichael.
Yes.
Ritter.
Yes.
Lane.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right. Item 5, executive session, land acquisition.
I make a motion that we recess into executive session at 7:30 PM for 15 minutes to discuss acquisition of easements for new sewer lines serving Panasonic pursuant to the land acquisition KSA 754319B6, with open meeting resuming in the city council chambers at 7:45 PM.
This conference is no longer being
Ray, a
recorded.
second?
Oh, I have a second.
All right.
Second that
all in
motion.
favor, say aye.
Aye.
Should put Kathy in the coffee.
All opposed. All right, we are in executive session. We will return 7:45.
Sorry about that.
Are they gonna mix up the seats? I don't know. I have an email about my nameplate that I have to review. But I don't know how they decide who sits where. And then tomorrow I've got a meeting with Mayor and City Administrator and Brandon. We meet tomorrow.
Yes. You got my email. I just want to make sure it went through. We can talk about it
Yes.
tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just saying, I had an email about nameplates. She was
Yeah.
asking about seating
Oh, yeah.
arrangements.
I
I'm
don't,
like,
you
I don't
know,
know.
I don't know how that works. It's a very good question. Usually what happens is they take the seat of the person that leaves, and then essentially there's a shuffle. I wasn't here for the last time.
Oh, okay.
Depends if you want to look down or look up, I guess is the question.
What's that?
Depends if you want to look down or look up, that's the question. So if you're over here, you look at the monitor over there. If you're over there, you look that way. It depends on which way you want to go.
I'll sit wherever. I don't have strong feelings on it.
So you would have to send me run for office.
Oh, same place. I actually ran for state representative last year.
Okay. For what year?
It's, House District 1 and 2, so it includes, it's a really, state House districts are so weird how they're drawn, but it includes DeSoto north of Canton, and then part of Lenexa, kind of lines up K7 to part of Shawnee, that includes areas south of Eudora all the way out south of Douglas, or south of Lawrence.
Upstairs.
Adam here.
So he's running again, so that's.
Well.
So it'll keep running, yeah, so
It also makes it
20,
where
next
you
year,
can have a
24,
meeting
it'll be up again.
You can tell them, hey, we want to talk to me.
2 years.
Office on South City Hall.
Yeah.
They don't have to
I'm
call me.
very thankful this is a 4-year term.
And as they're running 2
I mean, you're just getting used to it, and then
all
here we got
for stress.
Run
a campaign again.
Yeah, yeah,
I
it
guess
is, because
you sit there in office, you
they
can go
open
and
2
check.
years in a row. It's a lot. I'm
Yeah.
very happy to not be campaigning for a while.
So you can. Personal
And so
decisions,
now,
I like you buying shut. It's kind of like,
yeah, it's a lot when
do you want to open up room with that
just
person?
2-year terms, you get 1 full year and that's it, and then you're,
You gotta make business.
you're still serving, but then you're
Soldiers here.
you're up and campaigning again.
So you're in the
Probably
city.
puts burden on them.
Yeah.
I paid somebody to vote for you. Even though Hammer Hand is my neighbor, and
I
I'm
know.
I'm in this planned area.
The planned area.
It's like, what is your plan for us?
Oh, where they're doing the corridor study?
Yeah, it's like, if I'm gonna go through my property. Yeah, I'd be interested to know what they plan on doing, what they're thinking of. That's a lot of area, that's the primary study, right in there.
Oh, yeah.
Johnson County.
It sounds like this is mostly what's keyed up. They want people from different cities to. Yeah, to do,
But it also.
Yeah, I'm actually, next week,
Has a
being
stop
interviewed by
inside the
someone
security
who's
and two that are outside.
contracted by KDOT to do
It's
some
not good.
interviews about, regarding K2.
Elevators
So
or
that's
something.
interesting, to hear the line question.
we got a survey, my husband and I, on the phone about K10.
Oh, this is all really.
And there was a survey, well, it's on K10, this is not K10.
Yeah, yeah,
This is good for a north-south.
north-south corridor.
So K10, yeah, this is what you're probably talking about. Yeah, it sounded like from Cameron and some other people, they're trying to put a toll lane on one of the lanes. So, and that's what they're hearing about, because they gave us a study, a survey, and it's like, this is the weirdest survey anywhere, because traffic is so bad right now, K10. Because of things on it. So this is not the time to study, because there's a variable, right? If it's going your way, the road's gonna be fine pretty soon, right? And so why are they doing a study when everybody's gonna say, no, I don't like what's going on?
Yeah, I think the question is, they're anticipating an increase in traffic on East Penn, so they wait to do this study.
But why are they doing something now? When there's not construction going on.
But then we'll have 4,000 people commuting. That's what, that's why that's why the finance or where do they wait and so.
Well, they should have, done something to make that.
One thing I figured out on this project already.
You know?
Yeah.
It's gonna be very biased. Everybody's gonna say, yeah, we don't like it.
The thing is,
Yeah.
contact for SFS, but we could just nitty-gritty issues, but nuts and bolts make a decision.
I also like seeing construction sites, and 4,000 people are
Might be ready.
already
Wait a
commuting.
minute.
But does there have to be?
Somebody's just part of
You
it.
know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, that's
Still
gonna be
need to-
biased in there, I think, yeah.
Yeah, let's do
There's
that.
gonna be more than that for office, repurposed clause.
And they're spending our money.
What's funny is your office and the concept
Because I'll get that.
becomes lunchroom
Yeah.
slash
Yeah,
hallway.
so I'll be curious.
Which is what it is
Curious
now.
to learn a little bit more about what they.
It'd be nice to have
Yeah.
lunchroom
It's like
upstairs.
you're saying, the timing of
So,
it.
It's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that,
Yeah.
there's one person
I went to
back.
the,
Drew wants to actually make a cup of coffee.
the mayor sat on the
Who
panel
doesn't?
along with folks from Panasonic and, someone from KDOT. And they talked a lot about kind of the corridor, federal line, the 435. Like, I commute that way, I go from DeSoto to Lenexa.
No, it's only for one day. South, I swear. No, all of it.
They were saying, yeah,
The next day.
the case
I
having
think they
435.
brought it up.
Oh, it might have been.
The amount of traffic.
Anyway,
I had it for lunch, that's all I had.
From
I had
what,
lunch twice.
K7 to county line.
Yeah.
So that is what they're looking at as highest area.
Should take it.
Yeah, right now.
That's not
Froze it
understanding.
all, it's all
No.
out. Please.
Or this,
Yeah.
but,
Bob, if it's on your freezer.
so my question is, why do they build?
Kitchen.
I assume they don't want to
They
build
got-
really in the sun, or the northwest.
Seems to be out there back there.
Because
but
they
I'm
seem to
sure
be
it's-
wanting to
I went
build
back in there and looked at the
around
wiring
it.
issue.
Why would they not want to go through, if it's for
I'm sure it's-
contamination, the property is totally contaminated. Can they not show over it?
Yeah.
I mean, like in Austin, there's a freeway
Gum
going in
something.
for many miles. Oh, yeah, why
The
did
thing
they
is,
not
probably really
build something when it's on? All of some our property. Again, this is your expressway.
Once
Here,
they took that
this
path,
is-
they drove
Yeah.
down the road. Really?
What's that?
It would take
But that's
two
what they're
losses.
doing.
Yeah.
But that's on this.
Yeah, that's that one.
Because they hold.
Both are, both are KDOT projects, so both are gonna have some.
So it would take two losses from both. Yes.
Yeah, there's no guarantee we're gonna have that.
One more.
Of
course.
I got pictures of that.
I don't know, I don't know.
Keep state road racing. We went out, I didn't know. Here we go. I didn't think we lose. See, we lose one from the state. Here we go. I'm not glad, I thought we did.
Other than the one discussion, it hasn't been back up.
So. I don't know.
Looking at our schedule this year, it's really easy.
I'm sure they give it is Texas.
Wanting to do,
Wise for them to say.
but they have lots of
So
stuff.
they still.
Do an agreement.
No problem.
Then,
They'd be us.
and say,
Yeah, we just, we
"Let's
waited.
clear the field." We don't even need to plant.
We gave that.
We already got soccer fields and baseball field right there. It's gonna take them years probably to do all of that. So it's taken them years to. And now they're.
That's the city.
But like the city and the agreement
No doubt. And then you're undefeated.
Yeah, find a place. I know.
What looked like.
Yeah, mine is fine.
Yeah.
3 minutes.
looks like we have a few minutes. Yeah, 3 or 4 minutes.
Going to the football game tomorrow.
Nice, it's gonna be beautiful. Be nice if we were going to a football game tomorrow.
Or not tomorrow, sorry. Yeah, you just.
Tomorrow I'll be outside Roland Sheriff's deputies. They're going in patrol.
Kevin, you want to K-State game?
Not a chance.
He won't step foot in that stadium.
I've had bad experience.
Oh, no. Hope we have a quarterback.
I know.
Your beat's gonna be back.
I know, I hear that. And Jalen Daniels came out today, said he's coming back next year.
Next year.
Somewhere.
Oh, he said?
He said he's gonna be a Jayhawk next year.
We'll see.
There it is, Kevin.
Uh-huh,
What we were
we'll
all
see.
thinking.
That's okay, Brad wished a heart attack on Coach Self the other day in a staff meeting. Don't know why he would go there. I never went there. Bill Snyder all those years, never a thought crossed my mind.
Yeah.
You grow up in that area,
No,
it runs deep, you know?
Lifetime contract, mister.
One more minute.
Is it easements or right away? Easements. And that's in the.
All right, I have 7:45. We are back in regular session. Ready for a motion?
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we authorize the mayor and city manager to enter into an agreement with Sunflower Redevelopment Corporation for the easement agreement of the utility corridor at no cost.
I'll second that motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Lane.
Yes.
Dunaway.
Yes.
Ritter.
Yes.
Daniels.
Yes.
Murdock.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Mayor, I'd also like to make a motion to authorize the city to spend up to $25,000 for the acquisition of a sewer easement across Johnson County Park land due to their failure to provide that easement for public benefit at no cost.
I'll second that motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Murdock.
Yes.
Daniels.
Yes.
Hunamichael.
Yes.
Ritter.
Yes.
Lane.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right. I think we are ready for item 6, advisory reports. City Administrator.
Yes, council, quickly, Thanksgiving next week. If you haven't heard, it's Thursday. City offices will be closed Thursday and Friday, and I will be out Wednesday. And that concludes my
All
report.
right.
Thank you.
Good report. City Attorney.
Nothing for me.
Thank you. City Planner.
Planning Commission on the 28th, Mayor, that's all.
All right, Planning Commission on the 28th. Joe is gone. No report from the city engineer tonight. Assistant City Administrator.
Nothing today, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Council comments. I'm going to start tonight. This will be the last meeting that we will have Kevin Ritter and Lori here for council comments, and so I want to take a minute and use my position and prerogative to take the first opportunity to thank you both. Lori, it's been a joy having you on the council these years. I'm going to miss seeing you over there, and but I understand why you're not, why you have other items that you want to spend your time on rather than spending Thursday nights up here with us. So thank you very much for your many years, and enjoy the grandbabies.
Thank you.
Kevin, likewise, it's been a great pleasure having you here. Enjoyed working with you over the years, and I know that our paths will cross many times in the future. Thank you. That's all I got. Kevin, would you like to carry on?
Yeah, it's hard to follow now with stuff, but I'll just a couple real quick comments from the CRE board meeting on Tuesday. And Mike and Brandon probably already know this, so they're like yawning. But City of DeSoto retail sales through August were up 19% over last year. That is as compared to Johnson County as a whole, which was up 4.8%.
Wow.
So most of the cities were running in that 4 to 8% range. DeSoto is up 19.
Do you think maybe the construction had something to do
Construction
with
materials probably had something to do.
And
And
just the
construction
extra
activity.
construction workers,
Yeah,
right?
construction activity in general. So that's a noteworthy item. The other thing is they gave out a report on Johnson County non-residential building permit activity. So, bragging rights coming around. So this is year to date through 2023. DeSoto accounted for 41% of the dollar value of building permits issued in Johnson County. Okay, let me go back real quick. On retail sales, by comparison, DeSoto represented less than 0.7% of all retail sales in Johnson County. Okay, DeSoto represents less than 1% of all retail sales in Johnson County. We represent 41% of building permits, which is job create, non-resi building permits. And that represents 52% of the square footage area of building permits in all of Johnson County. So, on the map.
On the map.
That's all I got.
All right. Rob.
Two things like the mayor, thank you, and thank you. Also, congratulations to Danny and to Courtney, and not present tonight would be Victoria as well. So look forward to having at least a couple of years to work with them. Second, I mentioned this to Mike as well. We've had a lot of inquiries about law enforcement. And in the Panasonic Development Agreement, there is a portion set aside for law enforcement. And so I was inquiring with Mike and that of if we can use some of that to go and look at maybe talking to the sheriff about another second dedicated car, or at least using it to get extra coverage sooner than later.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that's all I got.
All right, thank you. Danny?
Yeah, I wanna miss you, Lori. May have to call you so I can adjust my hearing aids, cause I use you for that, and you know it. And, I appreciate you, and I'm gonna miss you, and Kevin, I appreciate you being here, so I just wanna say that, and thank you, Mayor.
Okay.
Well, I'll miss you too, Danny. No, thank you all. It was a great time. May try to do it again someday, but for right now, I'm gonna have a good time.
All right.
Enjoy the weather. Thanks.
Lori, I'm gonna give you the last word.
Great, thanks. Usually I say no comment, but I actually have notes.
And remember, we wanted to end this meeting by 8 o'clock.
I can do that. I can do that. So, I really didn't expect all the farewells tonight, but it does make sense because I'll show up and then walk away in December probably. But yeah, being on council has been a real joy. It's been enlightening for me to see how cities are run, and I loved being a part of it more so than you would think because I'm leaving, because I really am going to miss this. And there's a lot of reasons for it. A lot of it is where we're at right now. Just what Kevin said, the growth and what we are doing is amazing. Our city is in such a good position. But the only reason it's in a good position is really, three big things here. This council that knows how to work together and knows how to listen to each other, and can, we have more full agreements on things than we've ever had that I've ever been on this group of people. And so thank you all for making it enjoyable being on council and everything that goes with it. And of course the mayor, again, having him as our mayor, Rick, while we're going through these changes and this growth, I don't think it would have happened without you either. So, so thank you for that, and thank you for all the years that we have been able to serve together. And I look forward to being able to, be your assistant as city mayor's assistant or something, in the future. So, but really big is something that I think we have so special in our city is our staff. And it has flipped and it has changed, and it is not the same staff except for a few people since when I started. And it is wonderful, and it is enjoyable being with these young people that really know what they're doing. I can't say enough for how well they work together and the friendships that they have with each other, and what they do to our city. But all of that really is the leadership of who we have right here, with Mike and Patrick. Both of them have been here and lead the way, and I thank you guys for that and for letting me be a part of everything that we did moving forward. So now comes my encouragements moving forward, of course, is to continue to grow. The city's going to continue to grow. It's going to improve. Stay focused on what is best for our community and keep planning. That's one thing that I know we joke around about all of our plans, but I remember back when I was first on council and Mike was back in the cubby over there, and I'm like, don't we have a plan for this, Mike? And we have a plan for everything now, and it may not seem that we do, and it may seem that some people think that we're not transparent on our plans, but they really are out there if people look for them. So just keep going on that and continue with that. I also encourage us to continue to be this community, the communication with our community, the educating our community, and really what has been the biggest thing recently that we've done is including our community in our decision making and our future planning. I think we've done that a lot really well lately, and I hope that we continue to keep doing that. There's going to continue to be new opportunities. This is one area that I'd say is similar to my profession. If you pull out a drug package insert, it's like this big, both sides, this big a print. There's nothing good about drugs that I sell every day, okay? But there's benefits and there's risks. And you have to look at both and find out what is best for this person to do. Is it better for them to take it or not to take it? And it's going to be the same in our community when it comes to incentives, new developments, saying yes or no. You have to look at the community because we're a community, not individual people. We're a city, and just keep looking at that and continue to think what's best for our community as a whole, and I think everything will go well. Continue to be a leader in Johnson County, even though the parks might not like to be our partner, but let people come to us. When we're looking at things, which comes to mind is being a leader and being a green community, trying to get building codes maybe to include things for battery vehicles and all of this. Let's be a leader in it. We don't need to ask other people in the county what we're doing. Go out there and do it, and let them come look at us and tell it, look at what we're doing in that area. The last thing is, of course, what you'll continue to hear from me in the future is the amenities for our community. Remember, people like things that they enjoy doing. They like things that they can put their hands on. So, keep the programs in Park and Rec going, keep the senior programs going, build on them, grow on them. Farmers Market, I know I'm going to try to continue, hopefully, to be able to help Brandon and continue in that. Our parks, maybe neighborhood parks, just some of these things, just some ideas that, we've talked about, I've brought up, others have brought up, and I just encourage us to keep going in the direction because our community deserves those type of things also. So that's it, my final words, my final thoughts. You have, again, amazing council here. There will be 2 new people on, so I just encourage you to respect them as much as you've respected me. Encourage them, teach them, work with them. And remember, you know, it's okay to change your mind if things get better and you all of a sudden think, okay, that does make more sense. So just keep talking and above all, keep listening to each other. And that's it. Thank you.
You want to end the meeting with a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, we're adjourned.
Thank you, Lori.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We do. And I wasn't gonna
Okay.
do that. I didn't get an email out because I've been so busy this week. I look at things. I.
Hey, Brad. She includes you in the young kid.
That was Cameron I was looking at.
All my grades right